Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.
Thank you so much. I remember about, so many years ago, listening to a lecture by Brother Kimathi, and it was called The Effeminization of the Black Man. And if I would implore you, I think there's a book here on that. No, is there one? Yeah. War on the Horizon: Black Resistance to the Attack. I want to tell you, you know Africa very well, right? You know it. You know it from the back because you are born there. You understand it. Now, Ayo was born in America, and there are things you can never understand by going to school. But I listened to him talk about the evolution of music today. Music, how its roots is in slavery. When you see most of the music videos that we have today, it's the same script. There's a man dressed in a white suit with many sexy girls, many. They are having a good time, party, and he's got these cars, he's got these fast boats, and they're enjoying the good life, and you never see where he gets the money from. But the problem is that man is a pimp, and he sells those black women and some of those young black men to the slave master.
That's right.
And this was a script from slavery, which is repeated in modern American music, which our African people have copied now.
That's right. Teach.
So when you look at America, what has happened to Black America,
Teach.
That's what they are pushing to Africa.
Teach.
And so it was really inspirational for me to listen to Brother Ayo telling me why so many black men are in jail. Why the system is set up to reward single mothers without their husbands. If you have many children and you have a man in the home, they don't give you any help. But if you have more children, the more children you have, and there's no father or husband in the home, they give you more money. As a result of that, in America, in England, in Canada today, many of our black men and women are in jail because they've been raised up fatherless. There's a war that either intentionally or unintentionally against black families, complete families of man and woman. And now that set up the stage for the next intrusion of homosexuality. Because if children are raised by single mothers, or boys and girls who do not see a father in the home, they are easy to be recruited by pedophiles.
Talk about it.
Now that's what you are seeing in South Africa today. That's what you are seeing in America today. That's what you are seeing in Europe. And when you hear next time, women only can apply. This is focused on women. We're trying to promote women. Listen, it sounds nice, but we have already seen the results of that. We've seen what it's done to the black family in America. It's destroyed. And so one of the challenges I give is do not take it. Without my brother, we will not go progress. Because Africans, we've suffered together in slavery. It wasn't that one group suffered and the women didn't suffer and the men, no. And so our struggle for Pan-African emancipation is being hijacked and taken from us and replaced by the LGBTQ something revolution. So every time you talk about Pan-Africanism, African revolution, they tell you, no, you are talking about the LGBT revolution. And we are saying, no, the quest for African identity, liberation from oppression cannot be replaced by the quest for sodomy. Secondly, I've taken time to study this movement. And in my hands, I have the first print off of my book. My book is called Africa's Resistance to Homosexuality. It's a 550-page book. It's taken me 25 years. 25 years of gathering research, 10 years of writing. It's been peer-reviewed by 4 professors. It will be coming out. I'm raising funds to get it onto the printing press. It will come out to serve all universities. It has to be in sociology, anthropology, international relationships, diplomacy, social African studies. This is the first time an African academic is writing on this subject from our side of the story.
We are telling our story, not somebody else is telling our story.
Every time the conqueror writes the story, it will always be written in their words.
That's right.
They will make Mandela the hero.
That's right.
They will make Obama the hero.
That's right.
They will make the pretty boys the heroes.
Right.
And they will demonize the real heroes.
That's right.
It's the first time an African is writing to get out to the rest of the world. It's not been easy, but this I'm holding in my hands, my first copy of this book, Africa's Resistance to Homosexuality. It's going to come out in 2 months. I'm hitting the printing press, and I know they don't want this book to come out.
Yeah.
You can take a look at that.
Yeah.
Number 3, I want to say that the future is great. You know, there are some things that are inevitable. Say inevitable.
Inevitable.
When I jump up, am I going to stay up or
No, you must come down.
I'm going to come. Let me try it out. When I jump,
You must come
I must
down.
what?
Yeah.
I must come down.
Gravitational force.
Because there is a law of gravity.
Yeah.
Now, people who reproduce will own the future. And people who don't reproduce will die out. Let me say it again. People who reproduce and have babies will own the
Future.
People who don't have children will not own the what?
The
They will
future.
die
They
out.
will die out.
Now, I've been speaking about this for 20 years, the demographic winter that is hitting the Western nations. From Korea, 2 months ago, they watched that the Koreans are no longer reproducing. One of the companies offered $7,500 for any of their employees who gives birth to children. It's not only Korea, but it's not working. Because there has been an infusion of feminism,
Teach.
LGBT.
Teach.
Women think that having a baby is an oppression.
Teach.
They think that getting married and having a husband is oppressive. This is the queer ideology, radical thinking of some of their friends who have been indoctrinating our schools of law, our schools of gender for many years. And what has happened from Japan to South Korea, coming down to even to Iran, because Iran took on this ideology, crossing over Spain, Greece, Netherlands, Sweden, Norway, going to England, Ireland, Scotland, Canada. They are no longer reproducing. And they're having negative birth rate. You need to have at least 2 children per marriage from a woman. That's called the fertility rate. And it's falling down to 1. It's now falling down to 0.7.
Teach.
Hey.
And so you have all these wealthy countries. They are no longer reproducing.
Teach.
And Africa, as simple as we are, we still know that a man marries a woman and that having a family is important, and bearing children, though it is clumsy and difficult, it is a duty that we must have, because at the heart of the African is three groups. The ancestors,
All right. Talk.
the living,
Teach.
and the descendants.
Teach.
Any sexual arrangement which breaks the bridge is an abomination for the African.
That's right.
Teach, Pastor. Teach, Doctor.
Any homosexuality does not bring descendants. Therefore, the African has no interest at all in homosexuality.
Teach, Dr.
It doesn't
Martin.
matter whatever you say.
Teach, Dr. Martin Ssempa.
Because it is our duty. We have a duty to our ancestors, to we the living, to produce what? Descendants.
That's
That's why I say, and when you have children, even if I don't even know you, you are of a totally, but when I find you, I congratulate you for giving us Bazukulu.
Yes.
I never walked anywhere without some small money in my pocket. I found a young woman older with a baby, money. That is another culture. Every time you see a baby, we actually have a law in our culture that whenever you touch a newborn baby, you give what?
Money.
Because for us, babies are the future.
Yes.
They are the future.
Yes.
A woman who's pregnant must be respected, must be helped, and we must do everything. So, who is the future? So we are the future.
We are the future.
Yes.
Whether they like it, even visas may be difficult to get. I'm telling you, they are going to come begging you on their knees. So we beg you, please come. Come to Korea. Japanese, I don't know their own, I don't know, they no longer have sex. They no longer have babies, and they don't know what to do. The government is in a, they have scratched, they have even offered money, they have offered computer, they have offered everything. It is not working. In 1900, there were 3 white men and there was 1 black man. Let me say it again.
1900.
In 1900, demographically, because of slavery, disease, there were 3 white men to 1 black man. Because of feminism, turning away from God, homosexuality, a few years from now, there's going to be 3 black men and 1 white man. 2050, 25 years from now, there's going to be 3 black men and 1 white man. Ask your neighbor, who is the future? We are the future. We are the future. I want you to know that and feel it. Do not destroy yourself. Have you studied? This is why every airplane now has about 500 young women going to go to work in the Middle East. Listen, that is the beginning. When you look at the World Cup, who was playing for France? Mbappe, Pogba. It's a French team. But who is playing in the French team? It's the Africa. We are the future. What are you talking about?
Teach, Dr. Martin Ssempa. Teach.
It's going to turn around.
Free your mind now. Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Katushabe.
I think some of you remember that Jesus Christ was born in a manger. But you may not remember the circumstances of why he was born. But he was born during a census. I think some of you know that the king or the Caesar at the time was Caesar Augustus. Now Augustus became the Caesar and he was deeply troubled that the Romans were no longer reproducing. And he was doing everything he can to encourage them to reproduce. And that's part of what he wanted to know. How many Romans were there to reproduce? Okay, thank you. How many Romans were there? Let me just read you this note, this quotation from two leading thinkers of the time. This is from Caesar Augustus writing to the Roman Knights. He says, "We liberate slaves chiefly for the purpose of making out of them as many citizens as possible. Yet you, Romans of the original stock, including, these are the Roman original family, like you say, the original tribes, Quinti, Valeria, Luli, you are eager that your families and name shall at once perish with you." People no longer wanted to, and he's begging them, you people, your clan is dying out, your tribe is dying out, your people, they were not. That's why Jesus' birth, he was born during a what? A census. Because he wanted to do the demographic survey. 2, another fellow, Polybius, 140 BC, writes, he says, "In our time, all Greece was visited by a famine of children and a general decay of population, demographic winter. This evil grew upon us rapidly and without attracting attention, by our men becoming perverted to a passion for show, money, and the pleasures of an idle life." The pleasures of what?
Idle life.
That's what is being marketed to us on our television.
Yes.
Which is why we need meetings like this.
Yes. Yes.
To sit and to think.
Yes.
And to look and to hear experts speaking about the future. Now, I want to conclude with the last thing. We don't all have to like he said, many streams with one destination. I'm a Christian. My brother is not a Christian. But we all have a dream of liberating Africa.
That's right.
He sees Jews as the major problem. I don't see Jews as the major problem. That's fine. But we have the liberation of Africa as the major what? Major goal. He's an expert. Guys, you have not scratched the expertise of Brother Ayo. Okay, I'm a scholar. If you look at my book, I'm an intellectual. That's why I debate the finest of them. If it's Matembe, if it's Professor Tamale, if it's Pepe Onzima, if it is the British, because I believe a black man is better than a white man. That's what my teacher told me. My teacher from the University of Dar es Salaam told me, he says, a bachelor's from Uganda is better than a master's from Europe.
This Dr.
A master's from Uganda is better than a PhD. He told me that. He told us, get the hardest writers. Get the hardest. He would always, the first thing he always did, look at the biography of which book did you read to write your paper. Now, most people, you try to run away from the hardest thing. He taught us to be hard things because we Africans are stronger, we are better, we are harder. And for me, you bring the very best of their queer theorists, I can debate them. I'm an academic, but I'm a practitioner. I want to tell you, Brother Ayo is a great academic. He also has another academic, Mwalimu Baruti. They have written books. I really appeal to you. You must read this book, The Effeminization of the Black Male. You will understand why today the song Chibanda, okay? This is a new song. Chibanda mulungi tanaba. Oba oyagala okumanya Chibanda jangu kuyelesa Chibanda. Chibanda tasasula boda. Chibanda taina laavu. Chibanda tagenda ku kanisa. Chibanda singa mu mira. Chibanda omutuufu. Oba oyagala okumanya Chibanda omutuufu jangu kuyigirize Chibanda. Now, this is ghetto culture. We are being ghettofied. We're being what? Ghettofied. Ghettofied. Boys walking with their trousers down.
Jew.
boys not combing their hair, working ghetto,
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
kibanda,
Wagwan, yeah, man.
smoking marijuana
Yeah, man.
for not for purposes, for not medical, not for any improvement, but for purposes of moral decadence. Okay, we are being vandalized. We are being ghettofied, and we can learn a lesson of how the American, European colonizer ghettofied the black African family in America and in Europe today.
Thank you.
And as you learn that, we can be able to form the resistance. Somebody say resistance.
Resistance.
So let me conclude what I've said. Number one, you are the future. Tell your neighbor you are the future. Listen, they're going to come begging you, please come to America. They're going to prepare yourself. If you're studying, we don't just want to send maids to the Middle East just to wash. No, we want to go as specialists. Somebody say specialists.
Specialists.
Yeah, we want to go all over as specialists. Don't just go as Aya. Number two, those people are no longer reproducing, but we are reproducing. Our sister gave a great speech. Get married.
That's right.
Have children.
That's right.
Listen, I just did a debate, an interview with Kasuku. If you have a chance to watch it, I was debating on the new law we are crafting for marriage in Uganda. And I told people, I said, look, part of the great revulsion we have against polygamy is because of Europeanization. Let me say it again. If we Africans were the theologians who take the gospel and taught it to the Europeans, they'll be wearing back clothes, they'll be wearing leopard skins, and they will not have such a revulsion to polygamy. 3, I've shared with you that we must be on top of our game. Do not walk away thinking, oh no, this is no. You need to be the best. You need to be the what?
The best.
And we need to help each other to become the what? The best professor, the best politician, the best artist. 4, I've shared with you about my book that is coming up. I hope to have it coming out soon. Yes, I've suffered, but you know what? You cannot go forward if you don't struggle. 5, I shared we can have a diversity. There are things I agree with my brother, there are things I don't want. I agree with. That's fine. But there are things that we agree on. Let's pursue those things that we what?
We agree.
That we agree on.
Thank you so much.
And don't be forced by the white man or the European. Oh, you can't be seen with this one. You can't be seen with this one because of... No. Let's pursue our future. You can follow me on Twitter at Martin Ssempa with 2 S's, at Martin Ssempa 2 S's. I'm available.
Thank you.
God bless
Thank you, comrade.
Free your mind now. Be part of People's Pan-African Parliament, the Pan-African Pyramid Debate with your speaker, Andrew Irumba Katusabe.